sick of hearing about E3 yet? No? Well, we're definitely hitting this the post-E3 lull of digest what happened and complain about everything else. It was a weird E3 this year because it was still kind of off the heels of COVID, which I may have to bleep. But anyway, it really ended up being a weird one, and I sympathize with developers, and if games were delayed, it's understandable. If there was light showings, it kind of makes a little bit of sense, and I still think working from home on video games is a good alternative, but maybe not the best environment to share your ideas creatively, especially if, you know, you have people on different machines. I don't know how it works, but I feel like even working from home, there's going to be some delays over the past year. So we're still kind of in that world. That said, it was pretty good overall, and I have to say there were a lot of things that I enjoyed. I want to rank the conferences and talk about them a little bit, and let you know how I feel about the whole thing overall. But first, look at these production values. Only the best. Only the best. How do I do this now? I'm still figuring this out. Hang on. How do I make the graphics go away? Okay, graphics. Good. Alright. Get that, like, right in the middle-ish. Good. Okay. Well, E3 this year had a lot of random... I mean, was this the most amount of just random conferences? Because if you look here, it's like, usually what you can expect is Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and PC. And I feel like we've been getting more and more, every year, more and more conferences just keep getting added to this. And there were so many more than this, like small ones. These are just the ones I watched. So I'm playing Nostalgic Wii Music playlist. And I'm going to talk about this stuff. I can only really recall what I can recall. I know that's genius words, but the truth is, if I don't remember stuff, maybe there's a reason I don't remember it. I already have a shitty memory, but if I watched, say, Summer Game Fest and I forgot about what was revealed, these conferences kind of blurred into each other after a certain point. And all I could really say is, for Summer Game Fest, is Elden Ring, which looked really good. That was the big reveal. I remember Kojimbo. I think Stalker 2 was at this one. I think. God, I don't remember. No, I don't think it was, actually. I think that was Xbox and Bethesda. But Summer Game Fest did have a good variety. Maybe I should pull up, like, E3, like, games revealed. I was gonna go based on what I remembered. But maybe that's, like, not the best idea. The Summer Game Fest, I do remember having a couple really, you know, good reveals, and Jeff did a good job. He does have passion for the industry, and I really appreciate that, because it means, you know, his whole kind of thing about getting all these people together really makes me feel like there's some sense of unity in the gaming world, even if there really kind of isn't sometimes. So I enjoy that. I'm gonna look here for a list of things. E3 games revealed, Summer Games Fest. Because there were just too many to remember, and I feel like if I don't do this, then I'm gonna forget, and it's gonna be bad. But there was Metal Slug Tactics, which looked cool. Jurassic World Evolution 2 was okay. Not for me exactly, but I did enjoy Planet Coaster, and I think those devs are talented, but I'm just not really feeling the whole Jurassic Park thing at the moment. But still looked pretty good. What else did we get here? We got, 2 Point Campus, which I'm probably not really gonna play. But, I don't know if Painkiller was actually shown, but Painkiller was there. It was, like, talked about. Tales of Arse. Again, Jeff got a lot of reveals. They showed Monster Hunter Stories 2 for the first of many, many times. There was the Nier skin for Fall Guys. So that was something. I will mention the Evil Dead game looked good to me. Not sure if it's going to be a definite, but it looked good. Back 4 Blood, which was... it had its own thing. I'm not all that hyped for that game that much, but I hope it's good. Or at least moddable. But Elden Ring was the big one, and I feel like overall it was an extremely well done start. Even if it was a little light on stuff I personally want, and I want to make it very clear that this is all personal taste. E3 is always personal taste, but especially me showing you this right now, I'm going to give Summer Game Fest a B-, because while it didn't have everything I wanted, it had Elden Ring, and it had a lot of other varietous amounts of games. Yes, that's a real word, varietous. I probably used it incorrectly and it sounded dumb, but it's true. And let me just say, yes, some people have accused me of being a Nintendo fanboy, and they are correct. And it's something that I have to admit. I love Nintendo games. I grew up with them. But the older I get, the less I care about where the games come out. I don't really care. I think console exclusives are stupid. And I just generally do like Nintendo's games, and I love those series. I've grown up with them for 30 plus years. So of course I'm skewed towards Nintendo, but I'm also hypercritical of Nintendo. That said, as many of you know, and if you didn't know, I usually end up getting all of the consoles eventually. And I've grown up with PlayStation my whole life as well. So it was a little upsetting to not see Sony at this event, when clearly they, you know, just launched a system. I would have loved to see more of what they're doing. But instead, we got Ubisoft, which, that first game they showed, Rainbow Six, wasn't the most amazing thing. But I at the time, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's something that has, Rainbow Six plus, like, space zombie things. But rewatching it, I was like, this looks kind of slow. So, it looks okay. But it looks more like, okay, this is Ubisoft by numbers. They're doing a little bit of a Left 4 Dead thing. A lot of people are doing Left 4 Dead things. And they had Mario and Rabbids, which is a great reveal because it was spoiled already. But it's the most... I loved Mario Rabbids. The second one looks good. It was the most excited I was at the whole Ubisoft event. And I will say... oh, look. Luma music. I will say, though, the Far Cry stuff... Far Cry 6, I'll probably fuck around in. They're fun to just shoot and explore and do stupid things and throw chickens. But the whole overestimation of, like, we have the best villains, So yeah, Ubisoft was kind of okay for me. And I think they did a fine job for Ubisoft fans, because Ubisoft does what Ubisoft do. Let's see. I'm gonna look their conference up because, again, I don't fully remember. It was Far Cry, more Far Cry, and the Avatar game, which I have no interest in. Rocksmith Plus, at least Rocksmith is still happening. And I signed up for the beta. I'm gonna give Ubisoft Forward a C+, because at least they focused on the games. There was Riders Republic. There was, of course, a ton of updates for games that are already out. But hey, you get Mario, you get Rainbow Six, you get some other stuff. It was alright. Devolver Digital, as usual, they have a crazy conference, and... let's see, Devolver Digital. I remember a couple things looking cool, like Shadow Warrior 3 I'm into. I want to see if that's any good. Wizard with a Gun actually looked interesting to me. Inscription, I already played an early version of that, and it fucking looks good. I like the card stuff. What else? Death's Door? Yeah, that one looked okay. Phantom Abyss, I think I got an invite to that. I might check it out. There was like a black and white game that looked alright. So those are the highlights, but I gotta say the conference itself, I'm glad they abandoned the storyline. I was amused. I thought it was a much more... Even though they kind of hit on the same point over and over again, the subscription service, I guess it's relevant, but it looks like they have a lot of fun making those things, and it's something different, it's self-aware, on a weird level, and I like that they're no longer trying to top themselves with more gore and just insanity. So I thought it was a much better, much more entertaining, reserved Devolver Digital with some actual good reveals, and I like some of their games. I will give them a B-. Okay? I thought it was pretty good. Okay, Upload VR. Really kind of disappointing for me. I was expecting a little bit more, and you know what we ended up getting was a lot of exclusives, and Oculus is now rolling out ads. This is unrelated to the E3 conference, but I just found out that Oculus is rolling out in-game ads for games that you pay for. They're testing it out now. I think Blastom, if my memory serves correctly, is the one that they're testing this out with. But yeah, there was the Township Tale game, which I found out you can just play. It's already available. Apparently it's a bit of a workout, but it does look cool. And it's like an open world VR RPG, but they announced it for the Quest, and it's not going to be on Steam VR, but you can just download it. Sniper Elite was the one that I was most interested in, weirdly enough. So I might check that one out. There was some zombie shooters, like After the Fall, like, you know, wave by wave. I Expect You to Die is like a spy type thing, which it could be cool, but didn't blow me away. Same for Fracked. Didn't blow me away, but the visuals were a little stylized, but a little cheap stylized. I don't mean to be rude to the developers, because truthfully, I'd imagine they're working within their budget, and they want to do the best they can to make something for VR, which, you know, it already has a low install base, and then you think about the fact that now you have exclusives, and it's like, ugh. The Nerf game, I guess we would just need to see more. A survival game there were some confusing aspects to that. There was a game where you don't use your hands to play guitar, and some wizard stuff. Pistol Whip update. Let's see. I mean, there were a lot of reveals, and I really am happy to see VR at least flourishing in that regard. More reveals is good. But I was disappointed because I got so conditioned by Half-Life Alyx and VR Chat and just other, like, really well-made, well-polished VR games like Superhot VR that I guess ultimately, and even Blade and Sorcery, but ultimately none of the games blew me away, which is a shame because this is the most promising form of the next leap forward for me in video games is VR. The Index really won me over. I am a lazy person, so some of these games where I have to stand up and do shit, that's personal preference, but I'm gonna say, from me, the VR showcase was a C. You know, it didn't do anything for me, but again, at least there were a lot of reveals. And I don't even remember how it was presented, but it was probably very simple, and that's a good thing. Just game after game after game, always good. Xbox and Bethesda I thought they did a really good job. Honestly. It was like 30-ish games, all on Game Pass. Like, well, 27 of them were on Game Pass, I believe. And overall, it was just a lot of good stuff. I'm going to go through some of these reveals. We got a look at Starfield. Very much only a look. But it's something to maybe look forward to. Maybe. Stalker 2 looked actually awesome. I've only played a little Stalker, but I liked it a lot. And this trailer looked great. There was Contraband, co-op open world game in the fictionalized 1970s. You know what's weird? I don't even remember that. I'm gonna look at it right now. Oh, because they didn't really show very much, if anything. It was more of an announcement, so that's fine. Sea of Thieves update with Jack Sparrow looked really good. Some actual gameplay for Battlefield 2042 looked really good. You had 12 minutes, which again, you know, give or take. Psychonauts 2 actually is starting to look like it's coming together and looks good to me. Halo Infinite looks better, truthfully. Like, I kind of am very excited for it. The multiplayer and the single player. I think it's going to be I hope it's going to be a good Halo game. And I'm gonna get it. So, yeah, that's another one. Diablo 2, we knew about this. We've seen it, but they announced the street date. Slime Rancher 2. I have not played Slime Rancher. It was never slime time in my life. But yet, something about it looked charming and cute, and I kind of want it, whatever it is. I don't know. So I might actually end up getting that, or at least looking into it. So that's another one. Shredder is not for me. Some, you know, other shooters, and, you know, they announced The Outer Worlds, which had a cheeky trailer announcing they didn't have anything. Top Gun DLC for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay. I like Top Gun. Redfall did absolutely nothing for me, I'm sorry to say. And Forza, they showed a lot of Forza, and it also does nothing for me, and that's personal preference. But I'm gonna say Redfall was, at least there was a lot of stuff to look at in that trailer. It wasn't gameplay, though. And gameplay is all well and good, and we're gonna get to that in a minute with Square Enix. There's such a thing as too much and too little gameplay, but we'll get to that. Overall, though, I'm gonna say B+ for Xbox and Bethesda. And the only reason maybe it doesn't get an A from me is because I don't have an Xbox. So most of that stuff is for Windows, so I'll be able to play it. And there was plenty of other things I wasn't interested in, like Forza, for example. That's a big draw for a lot of people, not for me. So let's take a look at Square Enix. Oh, I don't have to, because you know what? It sucked. I'm going to start with a ranking on this one, and I'm going to give this a D-. I'm not going to fail them, okay, like a spiteful teacher, but I'm going to give them a D- because what were they even showing? Okay, so it was Guardians of the Galaxy, which we saw the same clip 3 times. Gameplay is good. They showed a lot of gameplay, and it looks polished. I don't want that game. I'm not that big of a Marvel guy where I want to buy the games. And Star-Lord and the rest of the characters, I thought were good in animation form, but were also a little weird. Like, again, I've only seen the movie, so you get used to the characters looking a certain way, and then they look great value, and it's strange. Doesn't matter. That's minimal. It was 20 minutes. Every time I thought the trailer was over, it was more trailer. They showed a whole bunch of just walking and quips and dialogue, and that's great, but it was a lot, and it was too much. I mean, 5 minutes they could have condensed down to a cinematic trailer, a gameplay trailer, a couple little dev interjections. That would have been enough to get the idea and get people actually more excited, maybe. But in this case, after 20 minutes, I was like, does Square have anything else? And boy, they did. They had 30 seconds of Final Fantasy Pixel remasters without showing what any of it looked like. Not on consoles. Legend of Mana, which we knew about, which is mostly still the old game. And I'm probably going to pick it up, but okay. Then there was Life is Strange. Now, again, this is where personal preference comes in. I have no interest, and everything they showed, I have even less interest. I'm sorry. Apparently these games sell very well because there was a lot of it. It was a main focus, and it was also at the Nintendo Direct. So, I don't know. Then they had to kill Chaos. Not only did the game tonally not look like Final Fantasy, the whole like direction of this trailer was just chaos. I need to kill chaos. It became good memes. It was fun to relive the cringe days of E3, and I don't even like that word that much, but apparently the demo, it's kind of fun. But also the final boss of the demo is apparently bullshit. It took someone I know 3 hours or so. But the gameplay is apparently good. However, the fact that it's a Final Fantasy spin-off is fine. It doesn't kill me that it's Final Fantasy because I don't really care. I mean, I haven't played most of the more recent Final Fantasy games. Just really weird choices. And I ended up feeling like I was like, what? That's it? And truthfully, that might have been it. I don't remember if they showed anything else. Maybe some updates. That was it, wasn't it? I walked away from that thinking, man, after a lot of goodwill with Trials of Mana, with, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and just kind of getting me excited for some of their games over the past couple years. We didn't even see Final Fantasy 16 for more than a second. There was more Marvel stuff. There was Avengers DLC. There was a look at Nier mobile. There was Final Fantasy VII Battle Royale. There was a very confusing look at a Platinum game, Babylon's Fall, which I thought the art style looked cool, but the trailer was so amorphous to me that I didn't even remember that it was there. D-, sorry. PC gaming show. There's a couple things. Again, pretty hard to remember what was there, but I like Day 9. I think he does a pretty good job at what he, and Mika Burton was good too, and, and Frankie. They did a fine job, and it wasn't embarrassing. They tried to be fun, and it wasn't self-aware as much as it could have been, perhaps, but it was also not too bad. They tried to bring these dopey skits with mechs, and it was fine, and then you got to vote for a mech PC. So that's presentation. Games, I don't remember. There was Raw Men. There's an arena shooter. There's Dying Light 2, which could be cool. It looked actually interesting. They Always Run. I don't know. Orcs Must Die 3 I'm actually probably going to pick up because I think I want that game. That comes out in about a month, so I want that. Vampire the Masquerade, I have no interest in that series, and the trailer, I don't really think it did a whole lot for me. Lemnis Gate seemed interesting. Maybe not enough for me to just instantly purchase, but I like the concept. Next, Space Rebels. Looks like a good, you could make bottle rockets and stuff. It looks like a good game to make a video on. And I enjoyed that at least. What was War Tales? Oh, it was an RPG. Okay, that's not really for me. It didn't really do anything for me. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff. Like Gloomwood, I'm interested in. Solstice, it looks like it's literally a Soulsborne, as they say. Chernobylite, that was the big thing this year. Like I said, there was a ton of Chernobyl themed games, like Russians, and like mutants. and then also beautiful 3D backgrounds with sprites. So that happened a lot, like Sacrifier. That was one of them. Looking through the list, Citizen Sleeper, I think that's when people started posting their Resident Sleepers. And a couple FPS games. You know what? It really... It wasn't anything incredible. I'm gonna give it a C+. I feel, on my own personal kind of rating scale, it was good. In fact, it wasn't shit. It just could have been... For me, it could have been better. So I'm gonna give it a C+, almost a B-. I'm very close to changing that to a B-, but I just don't think I can manage it. Future Game Show, I didn't watch too much of, so maybe I should get this off the list. I don't remember... I think I watched some of it, and then I watched the announcements. But, like, they just showed, Jurassic World, park thing, World Evolution. They built a virtual show floor, esports boxing, Lake, Eldest Souls. It's another Souls-like enlisted. Yeah, I don't remember having seen a bunch of this. They showed more Chernobyl Light, Team 17 showcase. They showed Sonic Colors, Happy Game, Dying Light 2 again. Yeah, I'm removing this. Sorry. I don't know what to rank it. I mean, I guess I would have ranked it kind of mediocre because I'm reading the list and, you know, the stuff that I am interested in I had already seen in another conference. And there's a bunch of stuff that sounds like, you know, shooter. 2 Point Campus again. So... Gotta remove it, sorry. Limited Run Games was actually pretty good. Weirdly enough, I watched that today. And it was more low-budget, self-aware than I thought it would be. Like, it really... It made me laugh even more than the Devolver one. And maybe that's just my stupid sense of humor. But they showed some stuff. Weirdly enough, one of the highlights was Rondo of Blood. Like an old fucking Castlevania game that's really good. Let's see, what else? Plumbers Don't Wear Ties is getting a physical re-release. The Shantae series. Axiom Verge 2, I have to say, Axiom Verge 2, I'm a little lukewarm on at the moment. It's not that it looks bad, because it doesn't. But it looks, for me, the first one set a very high bar, and I'm, you know, kind of watching the Axiom Verge 2 footage, and I'm like, it looks like it's going to be a weird different, and some of the pixel art didn't really do it for me, but I'm still probably going to get it, and I'm still going to keep an eye on it, so just wanted to throw that out there. That Blood Rain game, not really, didn't really do a whole lot for me, but I can see how people would like that, and it's nice that Blood Rain's back. Dusk getting a Switch and PS4 port, or, you know, physical release. That's cool. Haven, Strife, like, super hot on Switch. Skatebird looked cool. It was okay. I mean, it was funny. The presentation was the best part for me. And, I thought they did a pretty good job turning a weird, me having no interest showcase into something somewhat entertaining. So I'm gonna give them a C+ as well, because I expected nothing and I got more than that. Also bordering on B-, but a lot of this is old games. Like, you know, again, Contra Anniversary Collection. Cool that it's coming to Switch and PS4, it's gonna have a physical release, but it's, you know, old Contra games. Same for Castlevania. Same for Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. But still, that's a good C+ in this case, because I was expecting nothing. Capcom, I can't give them a rating, because they said it was Monster Hunter Stories 2, There was, sorry to say, no Mega Man. No Mega Man. There was a Phoenix Wright thing. RE-verse, which is like if you have Village, you get a Resident Evil shooter, which historically Capcom plus Resident Evil shooter, it's usually miss. So I can't say I'm all excited for that. They did say they were going to, have additional DLC for Resident Evil Village. That was an announcement that I thought was, okay, great. I want more of this game. Good. But they just started on it. Monster Hunter Stories 2 did not look bad, but I don't think I'm playing it because I played the mainline Monster Hunter series, and that's good enough for me. However, I get what they're going for with this series, and I think it's cool, but it's really not something I'd plan on buying ever. Sorry to say. Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Yeah, they showed a bunch of that, and I was just watching it. Like, this is, again, I never played Phoenix Wright, and this is a specific audience, so... They also talked about esport stuff. I can't give them a rating. If I gave them a rating, it would be a fucking D. But I don't think I feel right giving them a rating because they just released, Monster Hunter Rise and Resident Evil Village in the same quarter, pretty much. Wait, is it the same quarter? I think one quarter than like the next, but very close to each other. Huge games. Again, I would have liked to have seen something Mega Man related, but these are my expectations versus what is feasible. Capcom has been doing a good job. I appreciate them as a dev, and I guess I kind of wish there was more, but I didn't expect anything. So, maybe next year, Capcom. Nintendo Direct. Well. So, as I said, I skew more towards Nintendo because I grew up with it. I had the Nintendo. I liked the Nintendo. And this was a big thing for me to see what they were going to reveal. And they revealed some stuff that I really, really was excited about. Now, let's talk about it. You already heard me talk about it if you watched my coverage, but I'm going to say that the best parts of this were Metroid Dread, clearly. And I even thought, even though the gameplay footage was a little choppy, I was rebroadcasting a stream, and then the frame rates were down to like 20, 25 at times. And that's an XSplit problem, and I use that because I don't have OBS configured for streaming. I went and rewatched the footage of Metroid Dread, and while I think that some of the backgrounds do look a little bland and gray, I see the style they're going for, and it's also limitations accounted for. In motion, the animations and the character models do look really, really good, and some of the art style pops and shows through in some of those areas. The gameplay looks like an evolution of Samus Returns, which I really like, and I think the movement where you attack while you're running looks good. So yes, Metroid looks awesome. It is the fucking title alone got people excited. It was one of those things where you had heard about Metroid Dread, and then finally it's real, and it's crazy. And then they reveal the fucking release date being this year. And then they reveal a special edition that no one can get because Scalper's already scooped it up and everybody bought it, and I'm not going to get it now because I missed it. So, fuck. But yeah, Metroid Dread, mental. Breath of the Wild footage for the sequel of Breath of the Wild looks awesome. It looks like there's an emphasis on verticality and possibly even time manipulation. And Link looks weird. And there's also some Skylands and a weird flamethrower arm thing that might be an item. I don't know. It's like a minute and a half of footage that's going to no doubt have videos that are going to have like 20 to 35 to 50 minutes analyzing every frame. And so there's a lot to think about and a lot to speculate on. And they didn't even reveal the title because apparently that would give away the main gimmick and like the story element. So I'm going to say that Nintendo, with those two games alone, those are two really big games, and You know, we know Metroid Prime 4 is in development. It would have been nice to hear or see a little bit more from that, but I get it. You know, Retro's still trying to figure that shit out and working through it. So, no problem. Metroid Dread, my favorite series is Metroid. And that's exactly what I wanted. So, of course, I'm going to be biased because that's a game... Not only did it get announced, it's coming out this year, but I think it looks great. Breath of the Wild, we knew the sequel was happening. Finally, we have some more footage. The only downside is 2022, so it's now a test of patience. Oh well. A disappointment right off the bat is that Legend of Zelda series is getting a Game & Watch, which is a cool Game & Watch, but Aonuma basically said they're not doing anything else. From what I gathered from his statement, it doesn't look like they're doing anything else for the Zelda 35th anniversary. So that sucks. And the Age of Calamity expansion, that's fine. It's not, again, something I want to revisit, but I get it. Shin Megami Tensei 5, not for me, but that's for a lot of other people, and well, the footage looked good. Like, again, a Switch Pro, I'm droning on about it why do I care about graphics so much? I don't know. Truthfully, I'm an anomaly, because I say I don't give a shit, and then when I see a crusty looking game, I'm like, Switch Pro would have been great. But the game does look good. WarioWare was a great surprise announcement. I think it's really interesting what they're doing with the formula. WarioWare is an amazing series. I might actually play an old one soon that I haven't played before. Or have played minimally, because I just miss WarioWare. But this one looks really good. It's coming out September. It's got the same microgame feel. It's got the same stupidity. And yet, each character has different abilities and traits, and you can use them to, you know, complete the microgames. And it's got co-op, or two-player. So, great surprise. Mario Party Superstars, I've seen a lot of people say that should be DLC for the previous Mario Party game, and I don't disagree, because there was only 4 boards, and now there's 5 boards. So I feel like they could have gone like classic Mario Party DLC mode, you know. But truthfully, it's Nintendo and they're releasing this. It does feature 100 minigames and 5 boards, and that's about the amount, minus a couple boards, that you'd expect from Mario Party. It is all classics, all online. I might get it just because I watched the Treehouse, and yeah, it looks good. It looks like Mario Party, and it's got the classic boards and games. I wish there was some new stuff. I hope there is, because I've played those games to death. So, a decent announcement, but not as pog... Why did I say that? Oh! But maybe not as amazing as it could have been, yet it's something, and it's online, and it's finally a step forward for Mario Party, starting with an online release and going back to the best of the series. No more car bullshit, you know, maybe less gimmicks and more just good boards, good mini games. So, just wish it wasn't $60, but that's the you know, the thing. Tekken joined Smash Brothers. I have no comment, really. While the trailer was good, and starting with Ganondorf dead was perfect, because I was like, oh, is that Zelda? It was a good trailer. The character looks like, you know, fighting game character, and I'm not the biggest fighting game fan. I'm not gonna cry like a baby, as David Lynch would say, but I will definitely say that it wasn't my character. What is my character? I don't know. I kind of got them already, so whatever. I'll play it. There was Life is Strange, which it's like, okay. Advance Wars was a huge surprise for me, because Advance Wars is a series that I love. I wish it was a new one. This is the thing that keeps happening. The 1 and 2 re-release. It just keeps happening. However, I hope that this leads the way to more Advance Wars, because 1 and 2 are genuinely great games, and that's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of, you know, 2 full games. It's cool. Launches this year, which is great, and it's nice to see Advance Wars again. I don't hate the visual style. Watching it at the Treehouse in motion, it looks like toys. and I kind of like that. I don't think it's the characters are a little funny looking for me, but overall, even if it has like a semi-cheap look to it in a couple spots, I'm hoping they can polish that up, because what I've seen is promising, and I hope we get more Advance Wars. It's a great series. It's worth checking out. I like it better than Fire Emblem. I hope that this is the rebirth of the series. Reboot Camp, good name. Some ports like Tony Hawk, which again, I played it, I loved it, but I'm not getting it again. And finally, aside from all the other stuff that they showed, which was more Guardians of the Galaxy again, Crust Edition, it's the Cloud Edition, and Worms Rumble and all that stuff. Monkey Ball. Now, Monkey Ball, I think, is coming to a number of consoles, but it was at the Nintendo showcase, and yeah, it's coming to like everything, so I might get it on the PC. But Monkey Ball is a series that I love, and I was super excited to get another one, even if it is another 1 and 2 remake plus levels from Adventure. I think it's great to see the classic Monkey Ball that is not Banana Blitz back. This could have been on anything. If it was PC only or Xbox only, it still would have been a nice thing to see, because Monkey Ball deserves to come back in a big way. And if this collection is received well and sells well, maybe Sega will give us more classic Monkey Ball games. And, you know, like the classic kind of feel, rather, with good physics and good levels, and maybe a level designer for a future game with online multiplayer. I don't know if this one has online multiplayer. I don't think it does, which sucks. It should, because those party games are very good. But still, this is way better than Banana Blitz could ever be, as far as I'm concerned, and I don't think they can fuck this up. It seems like a home run. So, those are the good things. The bad things of the Nintendo conference, as a Nintendo fan, it's mostly what we didn't get. You know, there's stuff that I would have liked to have seen. There's old franchises we've been waiting for years that we didn't see. And that's just wishful thinking. Mostly, I guess, you know, people clamoring for, like, the Mario Odyssey team's take on Donkey Kong, which was a rumor. Of course, I would love any F-Zero or any classic game. Like, hey, we're bringing the N64 games to the Switch, you know, for the service that you spend $20 a year on. That would have been cool. A Switch Pro would have been good, just because we're hitting 4 years. We just hit 4 years of the Nintendo Switch, and it's showing its age. So there's a couple things that would have been great. More Zelda 35th celebration of any kind would have been nice. Mario Golf was there, but that's coming out like next week, and it still looks good, but it's just a thing that we already knew about. And otherwise, you know, there's still Mario Kart, mainline Mario game. There's stuff that just wasn't there, and I'm not upset, because we got a bunch of Mario last year, so that's cool. I feel like there was another thing I wanted to complain about, like a good Nintendo fan. Like, I really wanted to, you know, complain about something, but I don't remember what it was now. Some people will say Nintendo saved E3. I would say that it only added to it, and it didn't save it, but it definitely helped. I'm going to give Nintendo Direct an A-. The only way I would have given this an A or an A+ is if, like, you know, everything wowed me. If the Mario Party game was actually something, like, new, but also, I guess, probably classic style? I don't know. If we got Breath of the Wild 2 as a release this year, maybe that would have gotten an A. If we got an F-Zero or a Kid Icarus game, you can damn well bet I would have bumped that rating up. It's, again, just fanboyism bullshit of stuff that I would have liked to have seen, not necessarily stuff that was realistic to expect. Or, again, an update to their streaming game service, which also would have probably bumped up the rating if they said, and now we're beginning to release N64 games included with your yearly subscription. That would have been really great. So yeah, there's a couple things missing, and there's still Pokemon on the horizon, which I'm not really crazy about any of the Pokemons that are coming out. I got Snap, that was good enough, and I'll keep my eye on the other ones, but that's about it. So yeah, they did great. They didn't save E3, because truthfully there was good games across the board. From Elden Ring to Halo to Stalker 2 to Slime Rancher 2. There was a lot of stuff to look forward to, and I can kind of plan out what games I want for the next 365 days pretty much. And it's great. There's a lot of good stuff, and Nintendo for me was the best because I play Nintendo games a lot. What a surprise. However, Xbox and Bethesda really didn't show us much. I'm hoping next year, we're going to see a lot more of Starfield, and then they'll start to show us Elder Scrolls. Also, they've updated their game engine, so they're doing a sequel to their game engine. So that's probably going to, now that they have their game engine, all maybe done, they can speed up their development. Bethesda's a weird one because I both love and get really, really, really depressed in regards to them. I kind of have my favorites of theirs, and then there's also the disappointments, but that's Bethesda for you. And Microsoft continues to do great work. With Game Pass, why would you have an Xbox and not get Game Pass at this point? It just seems like perfect. It seems like a good combo. So I respect what Microsoft is doing, and I really like their conference. Truthfully, it was kind of, in some ways, for some people, I've seen people say that Microsoft had the best conference. And I understand. I get it. We can all agree that Square shit the bed, though. And they maybe shouldn't have even been at this E3. It would have been better if they just said, hey, we're doing a Guardians of the Galaxy Direct. We're going to show you a half hour of Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll be at E3 next year. We'll have more announcements throughout the year. But no, they had to kill chaos. At least we got some memes out of it. So that's my E3. Oh, sorry. Bayonetta 3. Where is it? Just saying. Okay, just want to throw that out there. That might have also pushed Nintendo to an A. But I enjoyed E3 this year. It was a tough year last year. E3 was kind of lame last year. It was a tough year this year. And it was nice to be picked up with my favorite hobby, video games. A lot of good stuff on the horizon. A lot of people really enthusiastic for what we're seeing, and it makes me happy. And I know I have a lot to play, and I'm super happy about that. Thank you if you watched any and all of my E3 coverage. You probably expected this exact list. I mean, I'm predictable somewhat. But I definitely was surprised by a couple of these showcases, and you may see me play some of these random-ass games, like a Slime Rancher game. I don't know. Who knows? Mostly decent E3, despite the fact that there was some dumpster fire shit, and also lack of Sony, and also because of COVID, things got probably delayed and pushed back, and also rearranged, So overall, though, with all of that in mind, I enjoy, and I hope you did too. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Take care, and hopefully I will have some games to play in the near and distant future. Take care, everybody, and until next E3, I need to kill I'm sorry, I'll stop.